Hi everyone, so today is another card to do from your craft stash that you've got without going to have to buy extra things. All you need to do is decide what you want to use and then adapt the card for it. So I'll show you quickly one of the cards. It's got a cross on it, so that could be condolence according to what colours you use, or Easter, or anything along those lines. This one was just using a square tile that I'd printed, and it's got a bit of washi tape on it. And this one was some odd bits of decoupage. Yes, they make up into a larger one, but I've chopped them up, and a bit of backing paper to go with it. Okay, so very simple things to use. We're using a piece of card 25 by 15 centimeters. As usual, all the imperial measurements will be up in this corner, and they are very similar, so I'll just go with these. Okay, so we're going to have 25 by 15, which I've already cut for you. We're going to score at 7.5, 10, turn it round and do 7.5, 10 from the other side. So I'll pop that aside for the moment. We'll bring in the scoreboard and a score tool. We're going 7.5, 10. Flip it completely round, and we're doing 7.5, 10. Right, so that's the only measurements we need for this piece. Okay. The important thing to remember is when we fold this, we want a nice straight line across the top. So I'm going to fold this. Don't mind which way it's folding at the moment. Check that that is level and fold with the bone folder. Do the next one, check again it's level. Take this one, fold it in. Take the next one, always checking top and bottom. There. So open it out, and then we can say which way the folds are going. So the first one is a valley. So if you think of going down into the valley and up to the mountain, up to the mountain and down to the valley. So if we think about it, there's our base card. Right, we're going up the mountain, across and down. Very simple way to remember it. Okay, so there is my piece. I'll bring this back in here, and the panels I've got are very simple. 6.5 by 14, and I need two, one for this side, one for that side, and a 4 by 14 for the middle. We'll deal with the optional ones later. So what I've chosen for my main backing piece is a couple of pieces of brickwork. Right. So I'm going to take this, and all the heights are 14 centimeters. So I'm going to chop this at 14. And I will have to go into the second sheet, so I'm going to chop that at 14 as well. Now on this one, let's bring it back, I need 6.5, 2 pieces. So I go along to the 6.5 and 6.5. and I need a 4 centimetre piece for my centre. So this is left over for the moment. Here are my pieces that I need to use, and I'm going to outline them in black or gold. So if I bring in some scraps of gold that I've got, this is the toppers that I want to use. So I think I might go for black and make it really dramatic, and it will also show up nicely on the camera. So take this one and fix it on. I don't find it easy cutting a mat and then getting it to fit exactly. So I'm placing that on. I'm leaving myself plenty of room around the edge. If you've cut a fine mat to go round it, you've then got to try and position it exact, and I've ruined so many pieces of paper. I don't do that anymore. So here's my centre panel. Now, no fancy equipment. I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut along the edge, just using my scissors to do a straight edge on this one. Okay, so when I've done this, I've got a mat around my piece, and I don't have to try and stick this right in the middle, right? I've had cataract operations, and to be honest, I make things easy for myself. So scissors, I can use this piece as a guide, and I'm just cutting a little way away from that edge. There's my next panel. So quick clear up. There are my 3 panels. Let's bring in my card that we scored, and I'm going first of all to centre panel. It doesn't matter what order you do them in. And that is going onto there. Next panel. At the moment, it doesn't matter which way up your card is. little bit of black there that's sticking out. So there is my card when it's folded. Right. Okay, open it out. Now, I found earlier when I was going around my stash a die cut panel, but you could easily just cut one. Now, we've done black around here. Because I've got bits of gold in my pictures, right, I'm going to actually put a piece of gold around. There's a piece. You can see from the samples that really anything goes on here to decorate. This is just a plain tile. This one I've made up a cross just from straight pieces of a ruler. So pop that in the middle, and I'm just using my scissors to go around the edge. A lot of crafting can be just practice. Alright, so just practice cutting and trimming. I'll show you in a minute. So that was from a scrap. I'm then coming back to the black. Now, that's going to be extremely tight, so don't worry about that. What I'm going to do is to chop that in half, and I'm going to place double-sided tape across here. This is a lovely trick that you can use when you don't have a piece that is big enough. So I'm going to stick that on halfway across, roughly. I'm taking my next bit, butt it up against there, and I'm going to take my fancy scissors and I'm going to go round and there we have a border all the way round. Okay, I've just had a lovely cup of tea arrive. So now I've gone round with the black, and nobody is going to know that on the back I joined two pieces together. So I'm not sure whether that's going to go on straight or whether I'm going to go for that. I think I might go diagonally. So I'm going to put double-sided tape down through the middle. Now I've got another choice that I can make. If we bring this back in here, I've got optional 2x14 contrast. So that's for this panel. So I'm going to cut them, and then I can decide whether I want to actually use them. So I'm going to go 14. I'm going to go line that up with 2 and line the next one up with 2, and then if I pop that away, can decide whether I want the black contrast. I think I will pop the contrast panels in. So I could put gold round those as well if I wanted to. Right, so there's my card. When you open it, you've got excuse me, the black behind. This is my piece that's going to go down the middle. And I've played around with the idea, so I am going to go on as a diamond. There we go. Right, I'd like some wet glue now. This is my biggest piece. These are just odd bits that were left over. You can see they don't match. And I'm bringing that down so that it just comes outside here as well, which adds a bit more interest to the shape. Now I've got these two bits here, so I'm going to have one that goes on there. Let's see what that covers too much of that up. So play around with the positioning of your pieces. I do like to break the straight lines as well. So that's that one. Now on this one I am going to just cut the glass there. I'm going to cut the dark shadow off there, and instead of being a piece doesn't want to go that direction, I am now going to take this, pop that in the corner there, and I'm going to add the grapes onto there. So that has now made it a lot nicer arrangement. Okay, so there is a card. It will fit in a 6-inch or 15cm square envelope. So that's usually from your stash as well. But I've got a surprise twist at the end. Okay, let's just quickly recap on these. So this was some wood panelling, which I've just done a 1-inch strip and a 1-inch strip across and just cut it nicely. Right, this was just a tile that I printed, but I've added some washi tape that was in my stash to pick up the colours, and I think it's done that beautifully. This one was some decoupage that I had left over, and I've just put a circle and gone round with my fancy scissors, and this bit here was 2 bits joined together, the same as we did for the black, because I didn't have enough brown. Okay, so do have a play with that. Now for the twist at the end. Let me bring in this one, because this is exactly the same card, the same score lines and the same panels. Let's open it out, So let me see if I can't squidge that because of these stuck on, but you can see from here, this is the back panel, this is the center panel, and if I hadn't got those there, that would go underneath. But just by reversing this panel, so you go mountain top, valley, mountain top, valley, that has now made a beautiful card using all the techniques that you've learned from this one, just changing the way that the mountain and the valley go. Okay. So I'm just taking some odd bits of stamp decoupage that I had and just staggered them, but you could have a whole piece sticking out. Just see what you've got in your stash and get all those bits out that you didn't know what to do with. God bless you all. Have fun.